Hi everyone, early April 2024. What you see behind me here is some clones, walnut clones, Grizzly clonal walnuts being planted today. Some interesting things going on. They're actually planting small bare-rooted clones that come right out of cold storage that were grown in a soilless media in a container and then bare-rooted inside the greenhouse and put away for cold storage, which is going to be an important tool going forward to have supplies to growers as it's will become more and more uncertain how many walnut rootstocks are needed for the industry. So I'll talk a little bit more about that. There's a lot of interesting things going on here behind us with this being a whole orchard recycling trial replicated and randomized by the university in heavier soils, something they've been wanting to look at. And then also these small bare-rooted clones that I'll show you, and we'll do some update videos on this. But let me grab the camera and walk around and show you a few things. So very simple, using a little auger to drill a very small hole. And there's sorry, bad shadows. And there's one of the little trees in there. And you can see we're in the chip section right now. And I'll talk about that a little bit. Is there any trees left? A few? Yeah? Well, we might be almost out of trees.
Yeah, maybe here, a little.
Ah, there you go. Perfect. Thank you. So that's what we're talking about. Something that is, oh, and this one's probably close to 10 inches, but some of them are 6, 8 inches. And then you can see the roots. They've been trimmed a little bit, but that was done months ago after they were bare rooted by shaking off the potting mix. So they've never been in the presence of soil or agrobacterium. Those wounds are well healed. And we've lined stuff out like this in nursery rows for, 15 years now. And it won't increase the presence of crown gall. And with this rootstock Grizzly, we've honestly never seen a crown gall yet. We will eventually, but not very susceptible. So this is what's going in the ground versus a potted green growing plant, which has been the norm if planting walnut clones. But this is because the supply was smaller than the demand. And now that demand for trees will be spotty, nurseries are going to have to figure out how to produce these very expensive to make walnut clones, but then preserve them for when they're ready. And so with a lot of work with the university, we've really figured out over the last 10 years how to cold store these clones safely and how they come right out. So, and all of you are pretty familiar with planting a bare root tree. So we just miniaturized it. It goes very fast. You can see they're using garden trowels and a 18 volt. The guy drilling the holes is down there. He's got an 18 volt Ryobi soil auger, and with a couple batteries, he's staying ahead of the crew. They're going to easily plant 1,000 trees today, and they just started. So here in the chips, you can see it's almost hard to see the tree. Little tiny basin. Irrigation's going in this week. Microjets will be next to every tree. Right here, I'm at the border between the about 80 tons of chips, I believe, incorporated just into the surface, into the top 10 inches with a big stubble disc and native soil. So I won't go on and on about the nature of this trial because that's a different video. But yes, it's a whole orchard recycling trial to compare recycling walnuts into the soil and then planting walnuts again and see the performance. And this is on, well, it doesn't look at this, is fairly heavy and shallow soil, so it gets very wet in here. The decision was not to put up berms in order to expose the trees to maximum sort of wetness and whatnot to reveal whatever damage might come from whole orchard recycling. Given that this is pretty deeply researched already, my guess from watching a lot of other whole orchard recycling and in walnuts is that the trees and chips are going to do better. But you know, this is why you do trials. You think you know, but we'll find out. But back to the little trees they're planting. So there's a little one planted, a little tiny basin. Trying to get my shadow. They'll come by today, give it a little shot of water, just to sort of tank it in. But it literally will be less than a half a gallon because you can't fit much, just to kind of seal it up. Bamboos and grow tubes will go on, and then it'll really be irrigation will be in. Put the spaghetti over towards a tree, yeah, it's even hard for me to find that little guy with the glare on my screen. So you can very much see the difference between no chips and chips. There's the tree right there. And but having done this and planted into this kind of stuff before, you think this is never going to work, and it's worked every time. So it'll be interesting to see what we see out here. But I mostly wanted to show a video of planting these small bare-rooted clones, because the nursery, it takes 2 years to make a walnut clone that's big enough to go in a pot. And Luis, can I grab one more of those from you? And so, nope, you got 2 here, or no? Oh, it's the potting soil. Sorry. So, anyways, that's what we're looking at tree size wise. So my hand there for scale. Here you go, Luis. Let me see that one. Just another one to show you scale of the plant with my hand. So, thanks, Luis. So the reason this is important is it takes 2 years pretty much from starting in the lab to get you guys a small little plant in a pot to line out, or to line out in a nursery. Well, we're going to have the problem of limited demand, and nurseries and labs won't know how much to produce. And in that situation, the smartest thing to do is to produce nothing. Because throwing away a walnut clone because nobody wants to buy it is a financial disaster. They are expensive to make in a lab, and that's why they're $11 to plant a little tiny tree. But with cold storage and proper handling, nurseries can produce a slug, have it available. Then, if something doesn't sell, when it goes dormant in the nursery, you carefully bare root it in the potting mix, trim the roots a little bit, just to get rid of anything at the bottom that's circled a little bit or going crooked, and then put that away in shavings at a certain temperature. A grower can plant it out like this grower is doing right now, and we'll end up with a great tree to bud in August, September. Or nurseries, bare root nurseries, can line this out in the nursery row at the last minute if their walnut orders pick up. Or these can be repotted in a nice size container and grown for another year. Walnuts only grow a few inches a year in a container, and then be very good for a grower to plant next fall, this upcoming fall, or the next spring. So this wasn't really necessary when it was go time in walnuts, but now these options will be necessary for the nurseries to supply what's needed to the walnut industry while not giving up and going broke in the process by either overproducing or just not producing anything because it's not economically feasible to do so. So I thought a little demo video would be good. So, and as we go through, and you can see the strips, hopefully, of the whole orchard recycling and native soil, whole orchard recycling, and so on. So I'll do some videos on this over the years, and the UC Cooperative Extension is designed, and we'll be working on this trial. And again, these are all Grizzly rootstocks because this was the grower wanted. So that's incidental to everything else, but these are little Grizzlies. Okay, hope that was informative. Thanks.